They're actually right.
They're actually right. All right. 3,
All right.
2, 1. Welcome back. It's Death Knight time. This is the signature of
Knight.
of the Knights of the. That's why they call the Knights of the Frozen Throne. And they are hero cards, and they replace your hero. And they replace your hero with something, and then they have a hero power, which we can't actually show here. We probably should, but it would require like a whole separate thing to do, because it's not like a normal card. Okay. Anyway, we're just going to knock these out pretty quickly in terms of the score, and then we'll talk about classes, which you're probably more interested in. The one thing I will say is that we don't know if these get an offering bonus besides the class one. Like, we don't know if it gets the spell/weapon offering bonus. If it doesn't, I suspect they will once Blizzard figures it out, because it's too cool of a mechanic and too iconic for this expansion to, like, not be seen more often. And even though they are legendary, even if they don't get an offering bonus, they will still be seen quite frequently. So you're going to have to deal with these guys, and you're going to draft them, because almost all of them are going to be the best legendary that you get offered, because they're all very high. So we'll start with Malfurion and work our way down. What happens is this thing replaces your hero. They all give you 5 health, 5 armor, and they do something, and then they replace your hero power. So Malfurion is 7 mana, and you have to choose one. You either get 2 poisonous spiders or 2 scarabs of taunt. So they're both something like around 5 mana's worth of value. So the scarab is like a 1/5 taunt. So kind of ish, maybe like 4.5 mana's worth of value, but you get to pick what you want to do, right? Like if you're about to die, you pick the taunts. If you're on the board, you pick the spiders so that they can hit faster. And your hero power turns into either deal 3 damage, like with your face, or gain 3 armor. So this is actually, I think it's really hard to kind of like figure this one out, because like the poisonous spiders are where you're at, right? Like it's only 2 mana more than Webweaver, and Webweaver is so good, and you gain 5 health from it, so that's already probably worth a mana. And so you have 1 mana left to get this hero power. But this hero power isn't like that much better than your original hero power. Because in gaining the 2 extra attack, you lose 1 armor. And in gaining the 2 extra armor, you lose 1 attack. So the hero power is only slightly better than otherwise. So it's actually, like, I think it's a pretty fair like hero change.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll see sort of in terms of power level of the hero powers. Malfurion kind of, didn't get the best one, right? The power level of his new Death Knight hero power is very tame in comparison to some that we will see later on.
Yeah, but he's still good. Just the poisonous spiders really carry this card, not the hero power. Just because you're not actually anti-tempoing yourself all that much with this card, and that's pretty key. So it's super flexible, goes in every deck. I think a lot of the questions that are going to come is like, well, when can I pick this? Always. Almost all the Death Knights can go in almost any arena deck and be really good. So 146, especially with Druid, right? You choose one. Doesn't matter how you're playing, you just pick the one that's better for your current playstyle and your current situation. 146 puts it below Medivh, above Yasharaj, above Ysera, above Anexia. Like, it's good. Like, we say reservations, but you'll see when we see the really powerful Death Knights why there are reservations here. This is not, like, the best card ever.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Hunter. This is one we disagree with heavily.
My gosh. Okay.
This is, I will say this is my rating.
Yeah, state your case.
I will state my case for my rating. I think it is better than the Lich King.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Please.
I think it is better than the Lich King. I would say that again. It's not as good as Pyros, but, it's better than a Crypt Lord. It's better than a Lich King. And here's my case for it.
Okay, go ahead.
Deathstalker Rexxar, Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. It is a consecration. So this is in the same boat as the Druid, where you are only paying 2 mana to turn into a Death Knight, and one of the mana can be thought of as gaining 5 armor. Now, afterwards, Deathstalker Rexar has a Build a Beast ability, which is use your hero power for 2 mana, you draw a card, and the card stacks 2 beasts on top of each other, stacks their mana cost, their stats, and their abilities in a Discover fashion. Now, that is better than draw a card. Way better than draw a card. It's also way better than Discover a card. Because what that does is, one, it lets you pick the amount of mana you want on each particular turn or the turn after to match the cards in your deck for, you know, good mana distribution. And two, because each card, first of all, you're selecting decent beasts, right? You select totally crappy beasts. But each card generally has a little extra mana. Then each card generally has a little extra mana than it's worth, right? Like a Yeti has 9 stats, not 4. So when you stack 2 of them together, you're actually getting your tempo back. And most of the time when you stack 2 things together, once you account for the ability, you actually get the full mana value of your hero power back whenever you play that beast, which could be the very turn that you use your hero power. So not only do you get to draw a card, you get to draw a card that is possibly an 8 mana card or possibly another really big card, so much better than drawing from your deck generally. And you get to do that while not losing any tempo. So it is infinite card advantage. You will outlast absolutely everyone. And you're a hunter, so you're probably in pretty good shape health-wise to begin with. So at any time that you are wanting to flip the board, which you do because otherwise you wouldn't deal 2 damage to all enemy minions, that wouldn't make any sense, you instantly win the control game. So once if you are in an aggro deck, once your aggro runs out, if your aggro doesn't finish the game, you win the game. Otherwise it's a dead card. If you're in a mid-range deck, you try to fight, you try to see when you use this, and then you use it, and then you win the control game. Or if you're pushing and you're going really well, you don't have to use this, and then you can keep using your hero power. Because the worst part about this is it replaces your good hunter hero power. But I think the fact that it's not like you don't choose when to use it, it's not like you can't just not use it. I think the absolute game-changing nature of its ability, and the fact that it's a freaking consecration, I think that overpowers everything.
Yep. Well, I don't exactly agree with that. So this is definitely one of the few cards, because we agree on mostly everything, but this is one of those cards in which, like, I think it might just be a playstyle thing, but I do not like the speed of it. I think you get rid of your win condition if you get rid of your hero power, and then you play this sort of slow, kind of grindy, potentially grindy game that the rest of your deck isn't really built around. And I understand kind of Deathstalker Rexar kind of just creates a deck all to himself afterwards, but it certainly it doesn't make me feel good to lose that hero power, and also to slow down a little bit, to find beasts and to create beasts.
You slow down by like 2 mana.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you don't slow down at all when you create and find beasts.
Well, no. You slow down in terms of the actual damage. The real damage.
Okay. You mean like killing him slow down? Yes. Yeah. You totally slow down.
Right.
You're playing a totally different game at that point.
Right, which I don't like. Like, I think good hunter decks are very sort of, all in on this one singular. It's like a very sharpened blade, right?
But here's the thing. That's the perfect deck to put this guy in. Because you play all your cards, and then you run out, and then all of a sudden you have more card advantage than your opponent and more health. Or you don't run out, and then all of a sudden you're winning. Like, it takes your lost chance, and then it reduces that incredibly heavily. And that's the problem with an aggressive hunter, right? Like, a lot of it is up to chance. And you're reducing your RNG downside of losing the game as a good player.
See, the problem I see in that is, like, it works on the assumption, I think it would work with the type of decks that you draft anyways. Like, because for super aggro decks, when I run out, I still don't want to play this card because it gets rid of my hero power. Like, because at that time when I run out, I still want to hero power that turn, the next turn, and the turn after that. And that's when I should be, like, winning, So I think it makes a lot of sense that one of our biggest disagreements is with the Hunter Death Knight because of the difference in our play style and kind of what it means, right? Like when we build a Hunter deck.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I
will definitely
for
test
the
this card
record,
out.
Merps wants to put this somewhere like 90 points lower.
Yeah.
So around like a 110. Around like a Yeti.
Yeah.
Merp sees this card and he's like, it's a
I
Hunter.
don't like it. Yes.
Yeti or a Deathstalker Rexar. It could go either way.
Yeah. For me, that is true.
That's very much not even close. Not even close. I'm putting this above the Lich King for the card draw effect. I think it's more powerful than the Lich King because it doesn't die. Like, it can't die.
I will say, so last month when I did my leaderboard runs, Hunter was my highest average class, which
and you were forced to play Hunter. I remember you were complaining about it earlier. You were like, "Oh my god, I'm not getting paladins. I'm not getting mages." But Hunter carried. All right. Speaking of mage, let's look at just about the worst one. This is Frostlich Jaina at 128, which is still good. It's still really good, but
it's still good, but
it's not overpoweringly good.
And part of the reason we'll look at this card.
Okay, so I actually messed up, and I thought it was a really good card, and I messed up because the hero power, which you can't see right now, that it changes to, says summon a 3/6 water elemental with lifesteal, and I was like, that's an insane hero power. And then Merps was like, oh no, you still have your old hero power, but if it kills something, you summon a 3/6 water elemental. And I'm like, oh!
It's like, no, you don't just deal 1 damage and then summon a 3/6.
No, I thought you didn't deal damage anymore. I thought you just summoned 3/6 water elementals.
Okay,
like
that would have been really
style.
good too. Yeah, that would have been really good. If you just summon 3/6 water enemies that freeze and also have lifesteal, that's pretty good, man.
All right, so it's not that good. In fact, it's really bad. It's 9 mana, first of all, which is like really slow. And then all it does on the board is it summons a 3/6 water elemental with lifesteal.
Yeah.
And all your elementals in this game have lifesteal, but like how many elementals are you really gonna
you're
have?
not getting elementals anymore.
Yeah. So the problem here is that you have like anti-tempo by 5 mana instead of 2 for the previous 2 Death Knights. And so you gotta make that up somehow. And you make it up by getting water elementals for 2 mana, except you can't because you actually have to deal the final blow with 1 damage, which is really hard to line up. So it's just kind of crappy. But like the lifesteal is pretty good. All your water elementals have lifesteal. You really just need to like get another couple for it to really pay for itself. You're a mage anyway. It's not like you use up all your mana. So, like, that's really the saving grace of this card. Like, as a mage, you don't actually have to use up all your mana to be effective, especially in the later turns. And it doesn't replace your hero power, right? It's a pure upgrade.
Right. It doesn't... I mean, it replaces your hero power, but I think what you mean to say is, like, it doesn't take your hero power in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. So, that's Jaina. Uther is 187, also better than the Lich King by 1.
Uther of the Ebon Blade. It is 9 mana. You gain 5 armor and battle cry. Equip a 5/3 lifesteal weapon. You also change your hero power so that you summon 2/2 horsemen. And when if/when you summon all 4, then you just win the game. It's like Exodia, right?
Yep.
And it's been confirmed that you summon them randomly. So they're like shaman totems. You summon them randomly in a random order. But if you have a certain one on the battlefield, you will summon a different one. But yeah, we think this is ridiculous. Like a 5/3 lifesteal weapon. Also, you gain 5 armor when you equip this.
Yeah.
It's just, it nullifies the weakness of weapons, which is...
It's a gladiator's longbow with an extra charge, which should be like 9 mana by itself. And then it heals you for 5 on top of that. So, like, you're basically playing something that you would want to play for 9 mana. And as a bonus, for free, your 1/1s become 2/2s, which is a pretty big upgrade, because 1/1s get pinged, 2/2s don't.
Yeah.
And 2/2s eat 1/1s. So if you're in a Paladin mirror match, you're like, my dudes are bigger than your dudes. They have horses.
Yeah. No, this weapon is just a little bit too insane.
Yeah.
You gain way too much HP. You're basically gaining 20 health, right, from the entire use, or sorry, from this card, because you get 5 armor and then you get 15 health from that, and that 15 HP allows you to keep on swinging.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, pretty insane. Definitely one of the better ones.
Yes.
Priest, Shadow Reaper Underwood, below Ysera, below Yasharaj, above Anexia. It's a thing. 8 mana, gain 5 health as normal. Battlecry, destroy all minions with 5 or more attack, which is kind of interesting. It's a Shadow Word death upon everything. But like, how many things do your opponent actually have that's 5 or more attack? And it kills your things that's 5 or mana, 5 attack or more too. And I feel like you are actually pretty likely to have the 5 attack or more things as Priest. Although your epic 9 mana card actually dodges this by only having 4 attack. So your hero power turns into a deal 2 damage. It's a normal like Shadow Priest thing, which is not terribly exciting. And you do lose your ability to heal, which is kind of sad, especially as you get into the late game and healing actually is potentially more useful. And it also refreshes itself when you cast the spell. But to refresh itself, you have to spend 6 mana, which means your spell has to be 6 mana or below, and then you can't do anything else that turn. It's okay, right? Like, would you do it? Yeah, deal 2 damage every turn in the arena is insane, right?
Yep.
Like, with no cost. That's, like, I mean, with no, like, health cost, because so you can keep doing it. That's good. So you'll do it. Destroy all minions with 5 or more attack is a great panic button, right? It's an amazing panic button. And yeah, so it's okay.
By the way, did you say spell? It's play a card.
Oh, is it play a card?
Yeah.
Huh.
Did you not factor that in?
No, I did not factor that in.
No. So it refreshes every time you play a card.
So it's a little better then.
It is a good amount better. Because you
still can only refresh once per turn.
Yeah, approximately. Yeah. Yep. So the hero power is okay. It's just like what you want to do when you look at Death Knights a lot is look at, all right, what is the immediate effect, right? Is the immediate effect good? And sort of how does that impact the playstyle of the class? And with Priest, the immediate effect is kind of situational. And then afterwards, you can't heal anymore. Although Shadow Form is definitely pretty good because dealing 2 damage with a hero power is really nice. So with Anduin and with Rexxar, you're kind of taking the class in different directions by doing it, which makes me very hesitant. But still, it's a Death Knight, and Death Knight cards are just kind of ridiculous.
Yep. That sounds about right. Okay, I will. The score's probably moving up now that I know this very key fact.
It should.
Okay, now let's look at Valera the Hollow. This is so weird. 9 mana again takes up basically your whole turn. You gain stealth until the next turn.
So they can't hit you.
Yeah, so they can't hit you. So it's like a better version of Ice Block, because it's not only like you're immune that turn, you actually don't take any damage. So that's definitely useful. Kind of.
Right.
But they can hit your board, so you must like not really have a board. And then if you don't have a board, what are you doing? The ability you gain is that you totally lose your hero power.
Yep.
And you could equip a dagger before you do this, so it's not like you totally lose it, but like you can't re-dagger. And instead, even though she's holding daggers, in the picture, Instead, you get this card every turn that you don't get to keep. You have to use it by the end of the turn or it disappears. And the card just becomes whatever card that you had just last played.
Right. So your hero power becomes Death's Shadow, which is a passive hero power that says during your turn, add a shadow reflection to your hand. And a shadow reflection is it doesn't cost anything. It's just a card that says each time you play a card, transform this into a copy of it. So, yeah, you have major card advantage after you play Valir the Hollow, but you haven't really done much of anything to the board. If you're just going to play a minion, you're going to play double the minion. That doesn't do a lot. You're kind of hoping for eviscerates here or something with initiative, and you might have that, but even that might not be enough because of the clunky 9 mana. So this is not great.
Yep. All right. Shaman. This is interesting. It's 5 mana. It's super like easy to play. It transforms your minions to random ones that cost 2 more. So it's like super evolve. It's probably like 3 mana's worth. So it's one of those like quick ones, right? Where like you only pay 2 mana's worth of tempo and you get 5 health from it. And then it changes your hero power from a totem to evolve a minion.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with totems and evolving a minion. Evolving a minion is not that much better than a totem.
No, not that much. I would say
like evolving a hurt minion or evolving a synergistic minion is really good. But like if you just like play a minion and then you evolve it, I don't even know if that's a good thing.
Well, it depends, right? If it's like a gnomish inventor or something that has a battle cry already. Yeah. So look, the thing with Thrall Deathseer is we rated it not very high. It's a 127. Part of the reason is like with its battle cry, you really need to have the board or have some stuff on there. And then afterwards, yeah, the hero power is okay, but you still kind of need a board, and you have no way of actually creating the board because you kind of lost your
totems. You lost your best
totems.
evolved targets.
Right. So this definitely becomes a little bit awkward. And at the same time, you guys should know that we penalize RNG, right? And this is like super duper RNG.
Well, totems are RNG too, but yeah, this actually ups the RNG.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, it's Shaman. Shaman's gonna be so weird this expansion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So weird. So yeah. This is only a 127. It's below a whole bunch of legendaries. And you said these Death Knights, they usually are a lot better than that.
Yeah.
Such as Warlock, Bloodreaver Gul'dan.
Oh, 10 mana. You guys know how we feel about 10 mana with Warlock, but
it's not better than a Defile. I just needed to check. We didn't lower Defile too much. But yeah, it's not better than a Defile. Good, because it's not.
Bloodreaver Gul'dan, 10 mana. You gain 5 armor, as always, and it says Battle Cry, summon all friendly demons that died this game. And your hero power basically turns into lifesteal and deal 3 damage. So you're just going to have an incredibly sick hero power that you can use the turn afterwards, where you could deal 3 damage and then restore 3 health to yourself. This is a 179. And I know some people will look at it and be like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense because it doesn't have initiative. You're summoning stuff, but you also have what's that demon called? Like Despicable Dreadlords,
yes.
Right? You have Despicable Dreadlords. What other demons have sort of some sort of initiative? You have Doomguard, right? And then, even though they're not that common, you also have like Fell Guards as well.
You have enough to like get 10 mana's worth of tempo out, basically.
You definitely have enough to get tempo, and some demon, you have enough demons to kind of get enough like initiative or
Yeah.
damage,
So
right?
like
Whether, yeah,
the thing is that like
whether,
all they have to do is die.
yeah, which
So it's not like they have to be in your hand or something. Like it happens. It happens normally.
yeah,
And if it hasn't happened yet, you just keep tapping your hero power until it happens. Because it will eventually happen because you're a warlock. And then you play this guy, and then you heal all that back up very quickly. Because the hero power is deal 3 damage, heal 3 health. That's ridiculous of a hero power.
it's like the, yeah, it's so good.
So
It's
brokenly
so
good.
ridiculously good.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, like what does the priest do? Deal 2 damage. What does the paladin do? Summon a 2/2. What does the druid do? Either heal 3 or deal 3 damage, and then take damage when you do that. This one does both dealing 3 damage and then also heals you instead of hurts you. This is ridiculous.
Yep.
And finally, in the warrior, there is Scourge Lord Garrosh. Pretty good card. 8 mana. Battlecry. Equip a 4/3 Shadowmourne that also damages adjacent minions. So it only deals 4 damage, but it board clears essentially. And you don't, here's the most important part. You don't have to hit the minion with the highest attack. You hit the minion next to the minion with the highest attack. Save yourself some health and deal the same amount of damage to that minion with the highest attack. So it's a nifty way if your opponent has multiple minions to get around the fact that you no longer have your hero power. Instead, you have a hero power that is Whirlwind. So you just like repeatedly Whirlwind every turn for 2 mana. Not only will that trigger everything that you have, but like it deals 1 damage. So you've switched a pretty useless hero power into a multi-ping.
Basically. Yeah. This is just a really freaking good Death Knight. It kind of reminds me of the Paladin Death Knight, in which they both just equip extremely sick weapons. And weapons are good in the arena, so these Death Knights are going to be amazing.
Yep. So they're all rated super high, and we think you should draft them, and they'll be fun too. So that's that. Those are the Death Knights. I don't know, like normally we do some kind of like class analysis of like which classes are good and which aren't. I don't know how useful that is going to be now. Because there are micro adjustments, its entire purpose is to make good classes worse and bad classes better.
It is. And now that we have the synergies as well, I'm not exactly sure how that plays out.
Because each class has different like initial synergy cards and you don't know what they are.
Right. But I think instead of doing, a class by class careful analysis, I think we can just kind of go back to the themes that you were talking about at the very beginning, right? Because if you stay sort of true to those themes and you are aware of those, I think you can do quite well at the beginning of the meta and take advantage, right? If you know that, there is a real distinct advantage to grabbing the board and holding onto the board. I think that's great. And what that means is, draft 2s, right? You have to draft small because you have to start from somewhere to continue the snowball, and you will get your big.
It depends. I think you have to make a choice.
Yes, definitely.
Like if you want those buff cards and you want to buff stuff, then you need 2s.
Yes.
If you don't and you're going Ungoro style, then you can be fine with 3s and you can fill your other cards so that you definitely have a 3 and 4 curve because you can't miss any kind of curve at all after you miss a 2.
Yes. And you just want to make sure that you don't fall too far behind if you don't have a deck that can handle it. If you are still a priest that has the Dragonfire potions, that has the Potion of Madnesses, you can fall behind. But other than that, KFT will reduce the amount of comeback mechanics for you. If you have been playing, the mages and the priests, and you're used to all those comeback mechanisms, you might be in for a rude awakening when you play the same way in KFT.
Yep, exactly. So we're not going to go class by class, and we are instead going to go and tell you this is what KFT does. It rewards the board. Your fatties are safer. There are going to be less 2-drops, so you can take advantage by getting more 2-drops, or you can still live and just get 3 drops, but try not to like waffle in the middle. Like, have an identity with your deck. It's very rock paper scissors. There's going to be many games that you will just not be able to win, but that can't really be avoided. And then I don't know, try to read up, try to gain some more insight on the synergy system. It like literally just came out, I think, like yesterday. So no one really knows what exactly is going on, and definitely no one knows what's going to go on when this expansion launches with all the new cards, and which ones are considered synergies and will get offered more in the first 2 picks. So that's kind of my advice and our general advice to you when it comes to the KFT in the arena. Know these things. Check out our tier list. Look at where the new cards are falling. Look at how the old cards moved, because we did a whole meta like restructuring based on where we think this meta is going, and so you may want to draft certain things higher than whatever. The big point I want to stress about drafting is 3 drops. The good ones, take them high. The bad ones, don't worry about them. And 3 3s are bad. Don't worry about them, because they will very naturally like come to you. You will have more than enough 3 drops. You're not going to have to worry about your 3 drop curve. But the good ones, they're going to get you on the board and help the snowball and win you the games.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it from us. We have completed the, ceremonial 3 times a year analysis. This time, we cut it very close.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to make the post like 3 hours after this.
I need to sleep first.
Yeah.
I need some sleep, and then I'll wake up and I'll post.
All right. That's it from us. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, patreon.com/grinninggoat. Huge shout out to Created, our video editor, who's uploading this right now, to our Lightforge developer, who has been working around the clock to get this up and ready for us to use on this video. To our mods and our viewers and our subs on Twitch who are staying up into the late night with us. Thank you guys so much. Well, we'll see you in KFT. Stream tomorrow night, stream Friday night, stream Saturday night, special stream Sunday night, stream Monday night, and Tuesday night as we enter the Knights of the Frozen Throne meta. We should have a vote on what our first Death Knight's going to be. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think your Death Knight's going to be? Your first one that you get to draft.
That I get to draft?
You get to draft. Not that you get killed by. That's not fun.
Well, okay. All right. That's fair. Well, it depends on sort of what class I am kind of itching to play, right?
That'll increase your odds.
Yeah. So I'll probably either be playing Warrior or Hunter. So I'm probably going to get Deathstalker Rexar. We'll see how it works out.
Nice. I'll probably be playing Druid, but I have a feeling I'm not going to get Malfurion because I don't really want Malfurion.
Yeah.
And so he will avoid me. And instead, the one time I pick Warlock, I feel like I'm going to get Gul'dan. That's my feeling.
Oh.
That's
a solid. That's a solid, because I want to see how many demons you get, right? And how it works out.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like, the Gul'dan was the one I'm most excited about, and so I will play Warlock sometimes just for that. Like, just for that. I'm never touching Shaman. Right. You know how I play all classes evenly? I'm just never touching Shaman this entire expansion. I'm settled. It's settled.
Sick. Nice.
All right. Well, that's it. Until next time, this is Abukta.
This is Merps. Thank you guys so much.
See you guys. All right, we're back. We're not actually gone. We just that was the end of YouTube. How's it going, guys?